Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Bitcoin's crashing. Get out. You need to sell everything. Put it in tether, man. This it's getting crazy out here. Hey, man. Dog, man, Kel, I'm telling you right now, we need to put everything in tether.
Hi guys, quick update here for Bitcoin. So based on the last video, still overall bearish on Bitcoin. It's not the best environment right now to be investing. Nasdaq isn't looking the best, could easily be in a wave 3 off a downtrend move here. Dollar is still looking to go higher. And there is the possibility that a super cycle count in Bitcoin has already been completed at 69k, and this still looks very much corrective. I suppose there is the possibility of a very, very complex, probably a WXY XZ pattern in here, but I just can't see it. I think you'll be bending too many rules of Elliott Wave. There's a couple of educational material out there on the YouTube channel if you guys are interested. Some kind of correction like this, honestly, I think that's very unlikely. Ultimately, this market is probably going to trend lower. There is an all-time high correlation with the Nasdaq, which we can show here on a new chart. So let me just pull this up here. If I just go to indicators and then correlation coefficient, let's just type in the composite rather than the Nasdaq 100. And as you can see, it's an all-time high correlation, and they are literally just copying each other. So which is the chicken, which is the egg? It doesn't really matter if you've if you're on a plant-based diet, basically. So ultimately this market is going to go down. They do look very, very similar to each other, as you can see, probably better on this line here. Let me just convert that to style price line. Let me just try that again, actually. So we'll do IXIC on a new price scale, and there you go. So Nasdaq is, it's really not looking the best. It's we're having a lot of issues here with the 10-year yield, which has broken the downtrend line. But worst case scenario on the Nasdaq, we are actually in a wave 3 going down here. It doesn't look very good, right? You look at things like Peloton. If all of that is a 1, that's a major cycle too. The 3 and the 4 and the 5 are down here, and this is just another 1-2, right? Okay, that can also be a 1-2, 1-2. So we could actually be in the third off a third, right? So this is not going to stop. Now, if there's something else going on here, that all of this is potentially a wave 1, coming up from the lows here, then all of that is a cycled, primary degree wave, wave 2, then fine. We could easily go higher out of this. But ultimately, I still think we're going to be in this choppy downtrend / sideways mess until at least the middle of June, and I don't see the dollar stopping its ascent. There's no reason to. The dollar still has many reasons to go higher. We've been bullish on the dollar since late last year, and now going into this year, that looks very, very impulsive. And of course, there's going to be some resistance up here, but really that's not where it's going to end. It's going to probably end up hitting this downtrending line. So the way to draw the trend line is to go as far right as you can, then you go all the way back down. That's one way to draw the trend line. Or you can just go to the first point and then just press extend. So you got 2 methods to actually draw any trend line. So if we say extend line, ultimately dollar's going to hit that line. And of course, there's a good pivot level here. So obviously, that's going to push the euro. So, I've been calling for euro to go to parity for quite a long time now. All of these charts are very much connected. There's no reason for the euro not to make 20-year lows here. That's a great time to convert dollars back into euros. But if we go back into the Bitcoin chart, this really doesn't look good. So I think at times like this, we do need some more financial advice.
This market hasn't bottomed out yet. I think Bitcoin's going to like 5,000. 5,000? Yeah. Man, Bitcoin ain't going to 5,000. Look what happened in Ethereum this morning. This morning, Ethereum was at 570. It dropped down to 492 in seconds. That's scary right there, man. It kind of came back, man. But this market, I don't even call this a bear market. I call this a damn A damn gorilla monkey.
Okay, so as we can see here from our financial advisors, could Bitcoin get all the way down to 5,000? The only thing I would say in that is, statistically, if we are in a major cycle degree bear market here, or I think it's a super cycle degree, we can actually look at the statistics of the last bear markets percentage wise, right? So 93, 86, and let's just say the bear market, I mean technically it ended here because that's a WXY correction. So 80, 86, and 93. So if I just add up all of these together and then divide by 3, I believe when we calculated this in the group, it was 86%. But let me just try that one more time. Yes, it's 86.3%. So basically, can we get down to 5,000 as per our financial advisors? It's a great time to be getting financial advice, and no better than Keith Hodge, that is. So we're looking at, I believe it was 8,600 that I had calculated there. So, you're looking at 9K up there, right? So assuming we are in a full-blown bear market here. Now, last video we said there is the potential it could just be an ABC, which takes us back down to 20K. But like I said, an ABC isn't necessarily the end of the correction. I remember everyone was buying here, and I said that it was just an X wave. It then went into a triangle to make another correction, and then it went down again. So, we could easily go to 20K, do an oversold bounce, and then end up making a larger move down, right? And 8K would be in line with the statistics of the previous bear market. So it's very obvious to me that we are in a bear market, and we are going to be coming down. So let's just switch that one up there to the right hand side. So where's the right hand side here? Style, extend right. It's not on the right side of the screen. There we go. Okay, that's fine. So, and as you can see, there's not a lot of volume propping up this market. So once we break this shelf, we could easily end up coming back down again. Now, if we have a look at the Bitcoin futures, we can do some volume spread analysis on this market, right? So we call the last crash from 20,000. This looks awfully like a double top. Double top pattern here. You add this distance onto here, that gets you towards 14,000, and it does look like a Wyckoff distribution. So just like in an accumulation, you have to jump over the creek. Here you break the ice, and there is a trend line going through here. So I'm going to get very concerned once this trend line breaks, right? This is quite a bearish candle. All of that volume just to form a shakeout pattern, break a key high, swing, fail up there effectively, and then come back down again. Lots of no demand candles up there. If you don't know what that is, you should take the masterclass, and that does look like a head and shoulders pattern too. So when you look at it like this and you draw a few lines, Bitcoin needs to show its hand here pretty soon. These two lines are getting pretty close. To me, this looks awfully like a Wyckoff distribution, and we are in at least phase C right now, if not phase D. We've had the first point of supply coming into the market right now. Notice we are really below that, which is very much consistent with a Wyckoff distribution. We've had the buying climax, automatic reaction, then this secondary test that's turned into an upthrust after distribution. Then we've had the markdown on increasing red range candles, and the green candles actually have been quite poor effort. These green candles, I don't think, have really convinced us that this market wants to go higher. Now, right now, we are rejecting off the previous preliminary point of supply. These are lower points of supply. So I get very concerned, because the longer something goes sideways, the bigger the move. And this has taken, obviously, we don't have the previous 20K top, but that took about 2 months. This has taken more the course of a year. So, to me, this is more likely bearish than it is bullish. And given the correlation with the Nasdaq, I only see the Nasdaq, at least short term, going down. I mean, obviously, things like PayPal I mean, you really want to snap this up here pretty soon, but it's just breaking all support. You think, when is this going to stop? I mean, I made a call that Facebook might go to 82 in some kind of vicious ABC, and all we're doing here just aiming for the long-term 50%. So there's no doubt these tech stocks are going to be bargains here pretty soon. As you can see, got a few alerts at 140 there. I mean, if it gets to 82, everyone's going to be all in, I'm sure, because your target's going to be, you know, $800 after that. You know, that may very well be a super cycle, wave 1, then wave 2. So there's no doubt, you know, in the next 10-15 years, Facebook might be well above $1,000 per share. But right now, we're not dealing with that right now. Right now, we're dealing with this vicious bear market, and it's not quite over. Even Netflix with the 3-day rule, you buy on the 3rd day due to margin calls, and the way that the options exercised and settled, and T+2 settlement. You know, there is a theory that you buy on the 3rd day, but you know, it's still not giving me the right signals there. That's not looking very good. If it does bounce up out of it, highly unlikely Netflix is going to get anywhere near here. Just like Facebook, probably going to end up coming back down again. I don't think Netflix has indeed bottomed. I still think there's longer to go on a Netflix. There's a very obvious trend line here too, isn't there? So once again, let's get it on right. You can swing out, then you go up, and then you rest the trend line, the first point that you touch. Or you just go to the first obvious point, and then you press extend right line. So, you know, I mean, that one doesn't really fit as well as this one here. So I would swing out and probably get it on this one here. So I suppose Netflix you're looking at, I still think there's a little bit lower to go here for Netflix. So I think Netflix may be a buy right here. Longer term though, I mean, you know, you look at something like this level, then you look at Nvidia. I mean, I said it was going to come all the way back down again to this high here. You know, why can't that happen? It's a super cycle correction here. You could easily say all of that is a wave 1, or at least, you know, if all of that was the 1, that's the 2, that's the 3. We're in a long-term bear market here on Nvidia. I see it going to at least sub 100 before this market is going to reverse. Frankly, I'm quite surprised Bitcoin hasn't fallen further, but I suppose there's reason for Bitcoin to get to, you know, catch a bid. But ultimately, I'm overall bearish on this market. So let's see how things play out, and we'll wrap it up there with some financial advice, and we'll catch you guys soon.
This is getting bad, man. We can put everything in tether. Hey, look. Let this market calm down. Now listen to me what I'm telling you. We're losing everything. You need to put this stuff in tether, right? When the market bottoms out. Stop spitting on me, man. You need to listen, man. When the market bottoms out, then you jump back in.